Well, hi there. This is Mark Anthony, and today we have a special guest. We have Rosie, and she's from T-Mobile. We're conducting an informational interview. Yay! Oh, hi there, Rosie.
Hello, everyone.
Can you tell us a
Just
little bit about yourself?
yeah, a quick little background about myself. So I'm originally from LA. I always tell people I was raised in LA, but I grew up in San Francisco because when I turned 18, I went to San Francisco to study business management. Graduated there. While I was working there, I had a lot of experience as far as service in the service industry. I worked at a hot dog stand while I was in college, so that supported me and my schooling. It was very flexible for me, but I learned a lot as far as the environments that I personally would feel comfortable in. When I graduated in college, I went to Nike thinking that was going to be my long-term career. You know, I love the brand. I loved everything it represented. You have a body, you are an athlete. That is what Nike is about.
Hmm.
I love the motto. I love the idea. Invested myself for years, went into a development program, and I realized that the development isn't quite what I wanted. So I went and searched for a new company. That's where I found T-Mobile. Went on the website, used the available resources that I had. So I went to T-Mobile's website, found the link to benefits. I found out that they have an extensive development and leadership curriculum, and I love the flexibility. Nothing as far as what Nike offered. Nike, they might have a development team, but it was very in-house. There wasn't very much expansion. So I went into T-Mobile thinking I'm going to be able to develop more skills with people, more personal self-awareness, and just how I interact with people on day to day. Because at the end of the day, that is what my job is being around people, gauging the room, and seeing what kind of information I'm going to pull so that I can deliver the best fitting option for an individual. So you guys might not think of T-Mobile as someone who right fits, you sell cell phones, right? That's not what we're about. In honesty, we just keep people connected, and that's something that people forget when you're dealing with internet, cell phones, things like that. And so T-Mobile is all about people. We're all about investing people, and if you meet anybody at T-Mobile, you can see how much time they've invested. They've dedicated years of life to them because of all the benefits that T-Mobile not only gives you and your family, but just the personal development that you can apply in all aspects in your life. So that's something I really wanted because I know that retail isn't my long-term goal. I personally would love to own my own business, and this is just a stepping stone company that gives me the skill set to get there. So I'm learning. I went from going to a hot dog stand, learning how to run a small business, how to document things, how to report, how to talk to people. Then I went to a big name company, right? Everybody knows Nike. And yes, I'm so sorry, guys. Oh, so everybody knows Nike. Everybody knows the brand. You wear it, you rock it, you love it, right? And everything that they had to offer me was a fallacy. I really thought that I was going to get the world that they were going to offer me, and it's just it's just a puppet game in my opinion. So that was a little interesting to find out after years of being with this company. I was like, all right, you know what? It's time to give up the dream and let's go find let's go find a new company, that's something that was going to offer me more. So once I got into my research, T-Mobile was the company that offered multiple leadership development. On the you don't have to be in a top level position to be able to get an internship. You can be at the sales level and apply yourself and work towards the things that you want. And that was something that I really enjoyed. And right now, I've dedicated 2 years to T-Mobile. I've personally gone through a nationwide development team within my first year. Now I've moved over to what you call a signature store, which is all development team. It's one of 6 stores in the country, the largest store that T-Mobile has. I currently work at. It's the San Francisco Union Square T-Mobile. It's a two-decker T-Mobile. You have tons of fun there. We love bringing customers in. Obviously, during quarantine, we cannot, but it's a place where you have one-on-one time with one person or with a client, and you just take the time to get to know them. It's all about the experience at that store, and it's opening a lot of doors for me, and it's opening my mind as to how I want to speak to people, how you present yourself, because at a signature store, you're expected to, greet your customer at the door. So you're expected to walk with them to the next floor. You're expected to ask them questions about their work, their kids, everything. You don't even talk about phones until maybe 30 minutes in. You could just get to know the person. That's all you have to do. You just get to know them, see what they need. Eventually you start picking apart, like, okay, well, you have this person in your house, they need a little bit more help when it comes to technology. So then you start kind of gauging price points and things like that. So my job requires me to ask a lot of questions, lots of questions. People think that I sell phones, but no, I sell service. T-Mobile is service. You want a phone, but T-Mobile sells you the service that gets you connected to other people. So that's what T-Mobile is all about. JP Morgan has honored all those things about us as well. We're one of the we're number one ethical company for the last 8 years running, and I stand by that every single day. I always want to do right by the customer. I'm not about, you know, taking your money. I tell people, hey, you don't need a $900 phone. All you do is text and email. Let's get you in a $200 phone. You don't need this big plan. So, it's all about people. It's just getting to know people, asking questions, and just taking the time to find out more, and then putting a package together for them. So, so if you guys, please, like I said, I speak too much. So if you guys have any questions,
Whatever.
Donna,
Wait,
what was the
what's that
question?
noise there?
But
Oh,
please
go,
let
oh.
me know if you guys have any questions. Please throw them at me because I will
Yeah.
talk forever.
Well, hold on. I'll start off first. So, like, I remember you worked at the hot dog stand. What was the name of the company?
Oh, Annie's Hot Dogs and Snacks. I worked there for 4.5 years.
Well, now that the Golden Gate Park, right next to the carousel, right?
Golden Gate Park. I worked in downtown San Francisco at the
Next to
corner. Yes, I had a corner job, guys. I know that sounds funny. But yeah, it's a rough area if you don't situate you got downtown San Francisco hot dog stand. Oh man, you get all kinds of people coming up to you, not only asking for directions for bathroom. You get homeless people that want to steal. You're out there for 10 hours of your day and you get harassed. Oh man, I learned so much, but I stuck it out for 4 years because it was very flexible for college, and it happened to provide tips. So that means, instant money for food. So it was just the best case scenario while I was in college. So, it was just a stepping stone. I learned a lot. I learned how to run a small business and how auditing in a small business works. I know how checks and balances should not go. So I learned more of the don'ts about a business. And so for me, someone that wants to own a business, working at a hot dog stand opened up a lot of my mind. It sounds like it wouldn't, but the background, the business stuff is what I was interested in. And I definitely learned how to approach upper level individuals. That's where I broke a lot of my fear as talking to someone above me. Whenever I felt that there was anything that need to be, said in a small business, it's really hard to do that because, one question can impact the 10 people that you work with. And so it was a lot of being mindful about how I would go about certain situations, because a small business doesn't run the same as a corporation, because it doesn't quite have the funds, it doesn't have the money, or doesn't have the people or the resources to provide the best environment. And so I had to go through that small shitty business.
Yeah.
to be honest, I'm sorry for my language, to be able to realize like I cannot have people working for me and feel like this. I don't ever want someone to feel overwhelmed while they're working at an hourly job.
Yeah.
That's not how it goes. You should not be taking stress home. And so I learned that I do not want to impact my people that way. So it was just a great way to open up myself. And I did it while I was in college, and so it was really great to be able to go to school and see these things hand in hand. So it just helped me grasp my college experience a little bit more in whole, because it was business. So it was really nice to be able to not only learn in school and then learn at work and apply at work. So if you guys ever have the opportunity to work at any business where it's going to develop you in any area, whether it's communication or whether it's self-awareness, getting to know who you are in a certain situation, that's probably the most important thing I would say, because the way I perceive myself and the way I affect someone in a room is what I always try to keep mindful of, just having that emotional intelligence to identify when someone doesn't feel comfortable, or when someone wants to say something and do they need to step out of the group to say it. So you start paying attention to different things. And now working to Nike, I went from Annie's, having a 10-person small business, to Nike, also a flagship location where one floor had 15 employees and there were 6 floors, over 10 managers. And not only do you have corporate, so you have to be presentable at all times. You have major athletes, people from Lakers, people from Warriors, soccer players. You have major athletes, rap artists, and you have to present yourself a certain way in that environment. You can't approach athletes for questions. You have to do your job. And it was just a very complete, just 180 experience as far as like what I was experiencing. And the biggest thing that resonated with me is how I felt while working at Nike. Why did I feel the same as the way I felt in a small business? Why did I feel that I wasn't being taken care of? Or, what is going on with my leadership? Why am I feeling like this if there's 10 people that are supposed to be looking out for me, right? So that's when I started to learn, like, Nike is a big brand that, they do a lot of presentation, is, for lack of a better term, I don't want to talk smack.
Yeah.
But they definitely present themselves a certain way. And we all know that there are horror stories behind Nike and how things come about, as far as products being made, as far as how the front line is being taken care of. And that's something, and it's really funny to see that I went from a 10-person location, completely different service sector, to over 100 people in one location, and I still feel the same. So at the end of the day, to me, I learned that people are the biggest thing you have to take care of on a day-to-day basis. Not only if you're a peer, if you're below someone, above someone, like, you always have to pay attention to how you affect them. Because if you say something with you might say, "Hey, how you doing today?" That sounds one way. "Hey, how are you doing today?" That completely affects the mood of that individual. And that's why I have developed my self-awareness. That is one of my biggest skill sets that I would like to develop, because I feel like people are such an important part of day to day, whether you work at a hot dog stand or whether you sell shoes or you sell service for a cell phone. Every single job, you have to take care of people. You have to be a good coworker. You have to be a great peer. You have to listen. You have to be able to communicate what you need, what you want in the moment. And sometimes, that communication could lead towards developing other things, like presenting yourself in large groups. Like, I still have difficulty doing that. And I was a student leader while in college. I spoke in front of over 100 people multiple times, for different things, whether it was a community service event or It was a clubbing event for a fundraiser. You know, there's different things that I've done throughout my time that I've learned that at the end of the day, you have to take care of people. So that's my biggest takeaway. And I always say, take care of yourself as well. Just like you would on an airplane, you got to put your mask on first before you put someone else's mask on. So if you guys, you know, you got to make sure you take care of yourself, you know, be aware of how you are in a room, how you affect the emotion, because that's going to get you what eventually you need and what they need. So it's a relationship day to day, you know, a relationship with yourself, with others. And that's my biggest takeaway out of everything I've learned my 28 years of this life.
Wow.
No, I'm only 28, guys.
Yeah. That's cool.
But that's probably self-awareness is one of the biggest skill sets I like to develop, and just being mindful, taking a moment to reflect, taking a moment to think about what you said or what you did is a huge, huge way to develop self-awareness. You know, even if you don't do it for the week, if you don't do it for the day, do it for your week. Did I accomplish what I wanted to accomplish this week? Do I feel like I affected anyone negatively? Was there something this week that I could have done differently? And that's just going to get you that self-awareness, asking yourself those personal questions. So like I mentioned earlier, asking a lot of questions is part of my job, is part of my service as far as working for T-Mobile. I'm a sales rep, but I require asking a ton of questions. And if I can't ask myself these questions, how do I expect myself to ask someone else? How do I expect to get an answer from them if I can't answer my own questions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, taking a moment to reflect, to think about how you did today, how you did for the week, how you did your job today, even just taking 10 minutes just to chill and just unwind and dissect yourself. That's probably one of the best ways to get yourself get the self-awareness you may need for a potential job or for a presentation, how you look in front of an audience. Like right now, like I know I'm crazy, but quarantine life, I'm
Cool.
giving it up.
Yeah.
But it definitely makes a difference as to how you are perceived.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it is a lot about image as far as how you go about things in life, not only the way you approach with questions and how you get information, but the way you are perceived. What information are you giving out to others? Because you might not say anything and just people judge you by looks, and everybody knows that, right? So
Yeah.
how do you present yourself to the world? Do you give them good energy? Are you always smiling? Like, oh, are you happy? Like, you know, that's something that's said about me, because I hate having a bad day. I hate it. I don't like having a bad day. So I wake up with the intention to have a good day. Today's a good day to have a good day. So let's have a damn good day, right?
Yes.
So having intention behind your actions is also something that has been resonating with me, you know, being good to people, being, you know, doing what's right, you know, being mindful. If you made a mistake, own up to it. Go back and fix it. You learned, right? It's never a failure. It's always a lesson, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
You always have time to fix. The only thing you can't fix in this world is death.
That's true. Yes.
So be open with your mind. Don't be problem oriented. Be solution oriented.
Mm-hmm.
Look for ways out. Look for ways to put a different package together. And see how it's all coming together?
No, I like that. You know, I like
Right?
especially like I noticed how you talked about the hot dog when you were working the hot dog. So those were you were able to use a lot of those transferable skills to the other position in question, right? To Nike and
That
then
is,
whatchamacallit, the T-Mobile, correct?
yes.
And is it safe to say, in addition to that, while your time at the university and your time at the hot dog stand, your emotional intelligence increased?
120% yes. I can
And
definitely say that.
same thing with the social intelligence, correct?
Yeah, I feel like I've put myself in many situations where I got to test that skill set,
Mm-hmm.
and just being in those different service sectors,
Yes.
kind of, and to be able to not only apply them as I keep going through jobs,
Mhm.
but to be able to excel and get myself through a development program that I actually got in before I was even allowed.
Mhm.
But because I showed so much determination in wanting to learn those skill sets, they were like, we got to give her an interview. We have to give her an interview. I did it. You're supposed to do it after being 1 year with the company. I did it at my 5-month mark.
That's good. Very impressive.
And it's just the fact that if you show passion for something and you really want it, it resonates with your actions. Because again, bringing it back to intention, it's what you want to do with those actions. It's what you want to do with that information. It's all going to come back. And I might I didn't prepare for this I didn't prepare for this interview at all, but you can see how it still comes together.
Mhm.
I feel like I explained to you guys how things that I might have learned in hot dog business
Yeah.
applied to selling cell phone or selling service to cell phones.
Mhm.
You know, there's questions you do have to ask yourself, others, and get that best package, because not everything is a one size fits all. It's
Yeah.
not. It's just not. There's no such thing as one size fits all. No such thing as one size fits most. So that's why you just have to make sure that when you approach any situation or approach an individual, you know, don't overstep by, trying to change or control the room, but just get the information, put it all together, figure out what can you dissect, reflect on that information, and then provide a solution.
Mhm.
And as I'm going through my life, a big conversation that's happening with me right now, and something that I get feedback on a lot is, and I'm having really trouble with this, and maybe you
Yeah.
guys can help me, is that the feedback that I get is that I lack empathy. And it's kind of interesting for someone that asks a lot of questions, right?
Yeah. Totally.
Empathy. And it's because I'm trying to, then again, because I did just get this feedback last week, I've been reflecting on it every day. Like, why do I lack empathy? Like, what is it about me? And I realized, like, my tone affects the way someone comes into the store. Oh,
Mhm.
I lost my phone. I don't know what to do. My first thing is, well, do you have insurance? Do you have this? I'm already asking all those questions, and I'm forgetting the tone that I am portraying to my customer.
Uh huh.
I'm forgetting that they their phone is their life, and I'm asking them like it's not.
Yeah.
And that's something that I'm actually having trouble right now. And again, with this self-awareness, I'm now aware that I lack empathy. And I'm realizing, like, is it because I am more of a solution-oriented individual that I don't focus on the problem, that I want to get the information and focus on the solution? Like, is that what's affecting my empathy? or or am I just not approaching the situation in the way I should? So that's just something that, working as a T-Mobile sales rep got me to learn. I lack empathy.
Mhm.
Like, that's something really interesting to know, right? Like, I just
Right.
learned that, and I've been working for the company for over 2 years.
Yeah.
And I'm just realizing this. So this is something that I'm personally working on. This is my self-development. It's my own path. And I just learned that. And so now I'm going to be more mindful
Mhm.
in situations that get presented into my doors, or in my, whoever comes in, like they present me a situation, and I'm going to be intentional and be more empathetic with the situation. So it's good to take feedback,
Yes.
and I accept feedback all the time, because I think that it's just that long-term skill set that you're developing. It's something that you can put on a resume.
Mhm.
Emotional intelligence is something that you can speak about.
Yeah.
You might not you put that bullet point, but in the moment they ask you, you tell your story. You
Mhm.
give them the information, and you feel confident that you develop that skill set, or that you're developing it, and how. That's something to speak on in an interview. I've done it before, hey, you know what, the skills, I lack empathy, and this is what I'm doing. Like the game plan that you have to that solution is also something that, I try to focus on. What's the game plan? How we're gonna get there? What's the end goal? How are we gonna approach it? Who do we need to get there? You're always gonna need people to help produce the best solution. A think tank, they bring multiple people, Shark Tank. You get all kinds of business people, all kinds of opinions. And it's very important to take on the information from people. It's like, because machines can only do so much. It's all about people. And that's something that I focus on every day of my life. Not only with my parents, but right now with you guys, I feel like I can give you guys a little bit of information that may help you, because I feel like I discovered something, and if I can pay it forward, why not? Right?
Yeah.
So please stop me. Ask
All
any
right.
questions.
Let me do this. Let me do this. All right. So the first chapter, we're gonna have people, you guys ask some questions, information interview questions. Raise your hand, and I'll pick you to talk. Deal? So who's first?
Did I talk too much?
No, you talked just enough. Who wants to ask an informational interview question? Like Linda, you can talk about how the culinary aspect, because Rosie used to run work at a hot dog stand. You can ask her about the serve safe card thing. You can ask her about if she's mindful about recycling, that kind of deal, or where she sees herself in a couple of years, that kind of deal. You want to go first, Linda, or no? You can say pass. It's okay.
Pass.
Okay. So where's the next one here? Well, I'll ask a question since everybody's still thinking about it. Like, how do you avoid burnout?
Burnout? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Like
Like
being
when you're
tired
just
at the end of the day?
well, in life, at work, say for example, you're working so much and you start getting aggravated and annoyed. How do you avoid it? How do you do your best to avoid it? Like me, for example, before the pandemic started, the way I avoided burnout at ECF was to go to Disneyland on a weekend and talk to Donald Duck and Mickey Mouse and the whole Fab Five gang. Well, actually, I'd be more over at Disney California Adventures right there. That's how I would avoid it, Or I'd watch anime. Like I'd watch Attack on Titan or JoJo Bizarre Adventure, or my most favorite one, Sailor Moon, the original one, 90s. She fights for love and justice. Or I would
Am I gonna see you in a
I
Halloween costume, Sailor Moon?
I love Sailor Moon. She fights for love and justice. Or I would do like bird watching, Or I'd see like my brother-in-law do DJ stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What about whale watching?
Whale watching. Well, Alex,
I wish I could do that.
Well,
I would just be looking in the mirror. I'm just kidding.
Alex, I think you've got a question you want to ask. Go ahead and ask the question, Alex. I asked her, what does she do to avoid burnout?
Yeah,
so
avoid burnout. Sorry.
That's okay. Go for it.
All right. Yeah. One way to get away from the noise of the city is because to spend your time near the beach or the ocean, or you go. Have you ever been at Point Vincente Rancho Palos Verdes?
Have I been personally?
Or have you heard of it?
No, I actually have not. No, I have not heard of that. But along the same line, I see it.
It's a park with a whale museum, and there's a lighthouse in the corner near the cliffs, and like during December and through March, the whales start their migration down from the Arctic to all the way to Mexico.
Oh wow!
And there were people out there with a board to count how many whales are passing by, and, and then during March when they start going back up there, they start counting how many whales are passing by.
Oh wow!
They pass by from Alaska all the way to Mexico.
You go through Monterey Bay, huh?
Wait, so Alex, that sounds like that's how you avoid burnout, correct, Alex?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
So I'm along the same lines. I like to enjoy nature. That's one of the reasons why I ended up in San Francisco, is the fact that I can go to the ocean, I can go to Golden Gate Park,
That's right.
I can surround myself in just a nice little hike. you
Mhm.
know, and just enjoy the surroundings. So I have not taken the time to go whale watching, but it sounds like a great deal because my favorite animal is a killer whale, and I can speak about that later.
Oh wow.
But yeah, no. So as far as like what I personally do to avoid burnout, I definitely rely on my teammates a lot. If there's a interaction that's overwhelming, or
Mhm.
if I've just been on the floor for too long, I do take the time and tell my manager like, hey, I do need some time off the floor. Like this is a tough situation, and you know it's okay to tell the customer like that you need to take a break.
Yeah.
And my managers, my leaders tell me that all the time, like, hey, if you cannot do your job right now, it's okay to step away. And it's okay. It's as long as you're aware of yourself in that situation, and you realize you are overwhelmed or burning out, or it's just too much and you just cannot handle that situation in that moment, it's okay to step away. It's okay to give someone else the rundown and be like, hey, passing it off. But that's in my work. So some jobs don't work the same way.
Yeah.
So it's different. Someone can pick up after me in this job, and that's the difference.
Mhm.
If you don't have someone to rely on, you do have to, pay a little bit more attention to your self-awareness. And burnout situations can hit at different points in different jobs. So that, again, that self-awareness is going to come in handy when you're learning about how you personally burn out and what you need to do to get away from that. If you need to walk around the block, I had someone at work who he knows that people overwhelm him, but he likes the job itself, which is really interesting. There is that kind of individual. Every hour and a half, he asked for a 10-minute break, and they gave him that, and he would just walk around the block.
Yeah.
He would lap us like 6-7 times. He would run, he would walk, he'd come back, and he's good to go. And that was his way of avoiding any vices as well. So he did not want to go into smoking. He did not want to do any kind of nicotine or drinking. So he went to physical activity. So that's just one individual. I just get myself away from the individual or the situation, and I collect myself, come back, drink some water, and then come reset, just quick reset, come back to work, and I'm good to go. But everyone is different, and everyone burns out differently and at different points. And if you need to go look at a tree or look at a bird
Yeah.
or just walk around and stare at cars, that's you. That is your personal self. As if you are fully aware of that, power to you, because that's already a big jump as far as other people. Most people don't know when they are being overwhelmed and when and how to stop it or how to change it. So the fact that that helps your mind get better and reset,
Mhm.
going and watching whales or going out into a nature walk,
Right.
Oh yeah.
that's perfect way for self-awareness. That's the perfect direction you're going in,
Yeah, especially
honestly.
cloudscaping. When you look at the clouds and see what
Yeah.
they look like, especially out there. You're
Mm-hmm.
about the ocean, or about a bay, and you just look at it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh,
Every
I
cloud
love
looks
it.
different.
Oh
And
my
the
God, I can
sunsets
get
too,
lost
right?
staring at clouds.
Oh yeah.
Seriously. Yeah, that is one of the things I enjoy. I like to walk up to Haight. I go get an ice cream
Yeah, the hippies.
with and hold and carry a book to Golden Gate Park by the
Yeah.
Panhandle, and then I park myself on a chair and I eat my ice cream and pretend to read my book.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that happens. I
Wow.
end up people watching more than anything.
Yeah. So guys, the hate street's it's like the hippie street of San Francisco.
Oh yeah.
It's been there since like the 60s and 70s. It's very popular.
It
They have
was very popular, yeah, because was it
yeah,
No, not
yeah,
Jimi
Jimi Hendrix.
Hendrix. Was
No,
it Jimi Hendrix?
yeah, Jimi Hendrix. Yeah,
Right? Yeah, he lived on that street, so it brought a lot of different
yeah,
entertainment into that area, and a lot of cultures just melted in that block.
yeah.
It's seriously a sight to see. I would definitely, if you guys ever get to go to San Francisco, take the big
Hmm.
tour bus, get on the second deck, and go through that tour.
Hmm.
Great trip.
Yeah, it's like isn't the Amoeba Records still there?
Yes.
Yeah.
it's still there. Still too, yeah. It's an underground thing, right?
Yeah, it's like they sell records and
It's
cassettes.
huge. I love it.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's
That's
really cool to get lost. I mean, most people are digital now. So you
yeah.
get more of the people that collect vinyl
Mm-hmm.
in there, yeah, or people that want to spend just kind of kill some time.
Yeah.
That's the kind of individuals you get at Amiibo Records.
Before I continue, does anybody have a question they'd like to ask? Now's the time to raise your hand, or if not, I have a question of my own. So let's see. Let me go back to Linda. Linda, do you have any culinary questions you want to ask about how would you make the hot dog and stuff
Porky.
and put it together, that kind of thing?
I'm like, that's not that hard.
How long did it take you to get better at your work?
I want to say, as far as like T-Mobile, is T-Mobile the one we're talking about?
There's a hot dog. There's Annie's hot dogs, Linda.
Yeah.
Mobiles are Nike.
Because there's different levels. There's different ones.
Are you talking about the Annie's, Linda, or no? Annie's hot dogs? Oh, don't worry, Linda. Check it out.
In general, okay.
Yeah, in general.
Well, every job's a little different. As far as me feeling confident at T-Mobile, I want to say I didn't feel 100% confident until 6 months in. Yep, it took me that long. But again, every job is different. T-Mobile has a lot of information to download. Every job trains you differently, and in the first 3 months of T-Mobile, you're pretty much in training zone. You go through a 2-week course, physical and class course. You learn what T-Mobile's about. Then the 2 weeks after that, you're learning the information about the systems itself. So it's a lot of downloading information and then applying it. And you don't feel 100% confident until like 6 months in, because that's when you really know how to interact with individuals and really got the grasp of all the information. And a big thing with T-Mobile is that, we're in sales. So people like sales. People like promotions. People like to save money. People like things that are free. And so, every day we get new information, we get new promotions, new things are changing. Something popped up yesterday, but it got canceled today, and you got to be fully aware of that. So definitely taking the time to, again, download information is something that is a huge, huge thing that T-Mobile focuses on, because they know that it's a lot. And you get paid over minimum wage because the fact that they are always giving you new information, new things. Right now, I'm learning how to work and how to activate and work Sprint customers. It's a whole.
Oh, really? Sprint? Wait, you're T-Mobile though. Whoa.
Yeah.
Why?
So, well, that merger just happened. So now that's changing things for us. So again, change is inevitable. We have to be very flexible, very adaptable, accept the changes. If you don't like change, you're gonna have problems. Period. You do have to be flexible and be more accepting to change. If you're aware that change is not a good thing for you, think about how to progress change for yourself. So again, self-awareness is always going to come back to it. But yeah, right now I'm currently learning systematically through videos, through training modules, how to work a Sprint system.
Yeah.
I haven't learned anything about plans or anything like that. I'm learning about their systems right now. The merger just went through officially. We're going to start helping Sprint customers in August. So I have to be ready for any Sprint customer, and I have to be ready for any T-Mobile customer.
Wow.
So, right now it's all training. It's a lot of, just a lot of information that I'm taking in. And yeah, it's gonna be a new thing for me. And right now the training, I will say, is overwhelming. There was a lot of stuff that I felt like I needed to give them feedback. And so T-Mobile loves feedback, so they're all about it. So at the end of the training, they do ask like, hey, is there anything that we could change, anything that you can do? So I like to take the time to give feedback just the way I like to receive it. So I tell my leadership like, hey, I don't like the way this happened. Like, is there any way that this could switch up? I don't think that I was able to grasp the information and it just sounds really confusing or whatever, you know. And that's part of my self-awareness, is that, you know, recognizing when I don't quite fit in a situation and how am I going to make the situation fit me, kind of work with what I got. And again, solution oriented. Don't close your mind. Don't focus on the problem. Focus on the information that the problem is giving you. Like what is the real
I
thing you
mean,
could change,
in
you
about
know?
5 minutes.
Oh no, she just muted herself.
What's up, Lisa?
I just have a quick question.
Yeah.
I just have a quick question that I need you asking to get onto a different Zoom. Okay,
Okay.
and I just need to get on a different Zoom. And okay, my question is, how long did it actually take you to pass the food service card?
Oh, I want to say the food service card only took me like 10-15 minutes. I don't know if it's changed at any point in time.
So did you actually pass it on the first time?
Yeah. Yeah, so it's the course that you take online, and then you do the certification process, and that probably took me, after doing the training and the actual test itself, the test itself took me like 10 minutes, but again, there are different licensing programs for it. I did a quick one online, which was enough to get me the certification because it's a hot dog stand. Now
Thank
if you work, yeah, no problem. You know, different food
I
service.
guess I'll talk to you later, Mark.
All right. See you later.
Yeah, I was like, my certification. Yeah, I think it depends on. I think someone to have on here. You know, Valerie. Do you know Valerie?
Oh yeah,
Joyce?
I know Valerie. Yeah.
So she works at a 5-star restaurant.
Oh really?
5-star hotel, the Langham.
In LA or
So
in?
if you want, yes, sir. And she works and she's also the head chef of a small business. She just created a menu over the last 6 months. So if you want to speak to food or service, I can get you someone for that.
You know what? We can talk about
She has
offline
2
about
different
Valerie.
things to talk about. She
Yeah.
has a small business that she's the chef that started the menu. The business hasn't even opened yet.
Oh my.
And so, you know, she's the one that's created the plates, things like that. And then she also has her expertise. She's got a couple years in the 5-star Langham Resort Hotel. Yeah, and she's also when she was in high school, yeah, she's got a good story. She was in high school. She got herself a scholarship to the Cordon Bleu.
Yes.
Cordon Bleu opened up the doors for herself. So if that's a story you want to hear, I will get you that person. If you want.
I wonder if we can get her today. We'll see. We'll do this.
Not today. She's working today.
Dang it. All right. We'll talk to her. We'll talk about it offline. Give me 1 second. We have Sasha joining in. And everyone, just to remind everybody, this is a recorded session. So let me get Sasha. Hey, Sasha.
Yo!
We're doing a recorded session today on Rosie. She used to work at Annie's hot dog stand. In addition to that, she transferred over to Nike. And moreover, she's presently working at T-Mobile.
Nice.
And we're conducting an informational interview. And oh my God, we have Adriana coming in as well. This is great. I'm very excited. Let me inform Adriana with her magnificent kitty cat.
Hello. Hey everyone, welcome.
Hey.
Hello.
So guys, just to remind everybody, it's a recorded session. We're having a great time here at Rosie from T-Mobile. Well, before I ask a question, does anybody here would like to ask a question before I ask my question? Well, all righty then. I will ask my question then. So, okay, before the pandemic hit, what was an average day of work over there, like the work day?
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
I personally would deal with at least 15 to 20 customers.
On the whole entire day? Was it like a 3-hour day, a 5-hour day, an 8-hour day?
8-hour full-time shift.
Oh, geez.
So
And-
you can deal, but you get you get different arrays of problems
Mhm.
that people come in. Sometimes you get billing issues, sometimes you get phone issues.
Yeah.
So a busy day for me is about 20 customers.
Geez.
And keep in mind, I am working with 40 other sales reps in the same day.
Mm-hmm.
So not only do I get 15 customers, but my coworkers will also get 15 customers. So that's across the board busy.
Wow.
Yeah, sometimes there are days where you are only with one customer because the problem is so huge, or they have a hard time deciding.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you do have to take the reins on the interaction. That's part of being in sales. You have to control the situation a little bit. If a customer cannot make a decision, you have to figure out why. Do they need more time? Do they need to go home? Do they need to reflect? Is it the pricing? What is it? Why do they not want to spend? Do they not need it? So you hear all those questions that just came out fast. They're quick. These are all things that you ask yourself in the moment, but then you have to take the time to ask them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's then you start getting that communication relationship. You start getting 80% of the conversation has to be from the customer, 20% from you. So I'm only doing the questions and I'm doing the downloading of information. They tell me, oh, I got kids. Cool. How many? Oh, okay. I got a grandparent in my house. I take care of them. I drive here. I go there. Right? Again, the solution is different for everyone. And so that's why I say don't focus on the problem, focus on the info that the problem is giving you to produce the solution for that person.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I'm all about. And hopefully I didn't give you guys
No, it's cool.
too much conversation.
No.
I feel like I'm just starting to sound
No, we're doing
like
great. So here's the next part of the
repetitive now.
No. So here's the next part of the two-part question. So you mentioned the stuff that happened before the pandemic. How did it change during the pandemic? Like what happened? Yeah.
That is a great question. So like I mentioned earlier, I am at a flagship T-Mobile store.
So what does that
remember,
mean?
We greet the customer from the moment they step into the store. I walk up to them, hey, welcome to T-Mobile, how's it going?
Okay.
Side by side, walk up the stairs to the second floor, asking them questions the entire time, getting to know them. Now it's, hey guys, before we take care of you today, what's going on today? Okay, well, let's go ahead and take the time. We're going to respect the social distancing. So right now I am completely 180 of what I'm used to. I went from a full experience to now there is distance. How am I going to get that same relationship with my customer if I don't get to interact as much, because I can't spend that much time with them anymore? How am I really going to get the information I need to actually produce a solution? So now I've had to condense my interactions. Can't ask too many questions, but I have to ask the right questions. And so now it's a whole different, ball game for me, because now I went from super chatty Kathy to I need this. Do you have this? Do you have this? Okay, we need to get this going. If you can't finish this today, we have to do it another day. So my interactions have definitely changed 180, but I still have to ask those big hitter questions and get the right information in less time. So I can't have a customer for an hour. They have to be with me for 20-minute gaps. So this is something that, I'm learning how to do right now. I'm not quite used to it. So it's definitely switching the game up for me, but I'm not getting too many customers right now. Not too many people are interested in coming and leaving their home to visit T-Mobile unless they really absolutely need it. So yeah, that is my switch up. It's just the way I ask questions now so that I get the right information. So that's probably my best feedback as far as that question goes. So it's just again, just developing that communication.
Yeah,
That's all it is. I'm just again aware of how I wasn't quite consolidating or being aware of my time before. So that the switch in interactions is actually tapping into another skill set of mine, which is time management.
Yes.
That's something that I'm developing on a constant basis. I don't feel like that's ever done for me, because again, I can talk too much. You see this is kind of unnecessary sometimes.
No, this.
And well, I mean, in the situation, sometimes
Yes.
I can
Yes.
run off and I can sound like I'm just saying the same things.
Mm-hmm.
And so going from a full experience before quarantine or before this pandemic to now what the kind of servicing that I have to do,
Mm-hmm.
it's asking the right questions so that I can get the right information in less time. So I'm still developing my communication. I'm still learning how to ask better questions. And I'm 2 years in. And I'm barely discovering this now. So that's why I say don't beat yourself down when you're saying you're developing yourself.
Yeah.
You are in constant development because life is all about progress. You weren't born an adult. You were born a baby, an infant, and you are growing, learning more every day. And you're never going to stop growing. You're never going to stop progressing in life. And that's what life is about. If you are currently developing your communication with your parents, with your coworkers, with your roommate, housemate, your nephew, that's okay. It's okay to know that you are developing that. And that's the self-awareness that I can always land on. I know I don't have the best communication, but I'm working on it, and this is what I do.
Oh,
I like to
gotta
take the
work
time
on
to
it,
ask more questions so that I can get more information, so that I can ask better questions.
Yeah. I
So
have a question from the audience. They want to know, do you know if T-Mobile hires people with disabilities?
100%. T-Mobile is all about diversity and inclusion. We have 6 chapters that we actually include. We do have one that is specifically for disabilities, one for women. We have a service sector for the LGBT, so that would be me.
Yeah. Yes.
We have one there. We have military veteran. We have our senior one.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that I don't quite know the names, but they're all on our website. There
Really?
are 6. Oh yeah. Oh my God.
Oh my.
Yeah, we are the best. We're known for JP Morgan again, 8 years running. We are considered the top service company with the most diversity and inclusion. I don't know that you can look at all our awards online. You can Google it. But we are one of the best companies to be with for this because not only do we provide free mental health programs, you can call, there's things you can call, you can video chat. If you just need to talk to someone, whether it's your personal life, work life, there are resources for all of that. And so when I first had jumped on this call, remember how I mentioned the benefits of T-Mobile?
Yes.
That is one of the benefits.
Oh my.
If you go to T-Mobile Benefits website, you tap into all kinds of resources, discounts for hotels even, discounts for cars. There's a lot that T-Mobile offers as far as the well-being of the individual. So that's the reason why I'm with this company, and there's a reason why there are so many people that have been with this company for over 5 years.
Oh, geez.
They like to, T-Mobile is all about development. T-Mobile is all about, the progress, keep building you because they want you to move up. My store is meant to have you for 1 year, develop you out into the next position.
And
that
you're
is
located
the
in
goal.
the heart of downtown San Francisco, right? On a Market Street, correct? Or
Yes.
Yeah, it's very busy down there, people. And then Josh has a question. I mean, Sasha, she said you'd love to get a job there. Have you, like, in your personal, like, at T-Mobile, have you ever worked with people with disabilities or no?
Not that I'm aware of, but I don't treat anybody any different. So I don't focus on that. So I may or may not. I don't I don't know, to be honest. The one I have dealt with and was difficult with was a trans individual. That was something that I personally had to learn how to
How do you
speak with
address them?
pronouns. Even it's still difficult for me to not say he, she,
You guys say
things
like
like
day
that.
or
So,
is day or something like that? Um, yeah, it's kind of interesting. Like in addition to now, I
right?
noticed like
Yeah.
on LinkedIn, some people are putting he, she, or they, and it's a
Pronouns.
whole new ballpark with this thing.
And again, being self-aware of how you affect that person in the room. Did you
Yeah.
say a pronoun that they don't quite feel comfortable with?
Mm-hmm.
Did you take the time to ask them what
Yeah.
pronoun they feel comfortable with? So that self-awareness, how do you affect? I didn't ask.
Mm-hmm.
So I messed up afterwards because I called this individual she when they don't identify as such.
Gotcha.
And they were like, they took the moment to stop me, but not everybody's that comfortable to correct you.
Yeah.
So if you are that person that takes the moment to ask, that you're already winning the game.
Yeah.
I like that. Does anybody,
Yeah.
before I ask a question, does anybody have a question they'd like to ask in the audience? If not, I'll ask this question. So, in your opinion, does your organization look for opportunities to recycle and limit their carbon footprint on a day-to-day basis?
Yes.
How's
Constantly. So T-Mobile, we are constantly having to report operationally, like our sales, our devices, things like that. So as far as what T-Mobile is doing is that we're taking the time to eliminate any unnecessary paper
yeah?
usage.
Oh yeah.
Any paperwork that we are not printing double-sided, we have to take the time to, change the settings on things.
Really?
As far as the way we recycle in the store, we do provide different um, bins for that type of process. As far as our business options, we have gone digital.
Mm-hmm.
So before we print a receipt, we ask the customer, "Are you comfortable receiving a digital copy? Would you like a physical copy?" So we have taken the time to ask them and give them the option, because not everybody likes digital. We get a lot of elderly that come in that they're like, "No, I want my bill printed, please." And because we don't mail bills anymore, because it
Oh really?
produces because it doesn't
Okay,
produce a
next question.
transcript,
Mm-hmm.
but
You
it
got
does like your text
It's way too
messages
much
and stuff.
noise now.
So you have like different types of generation going into the store. Like you have a baby
100,
boomers,
yeah.
Generation X, a millennial.
That we
Who
have
are missing here?
tourism, so not only I deal with people from San Francisco, I deal with people from LA, I deal with people
Oh,
from
you
New York,
guys. Yeah.
from Asia,
Oh,
from
really?
Brazil,
Uh-huh.
Nigeria. Oh my God. So that's why you have to take that situation and don't do the one size fits all.
Yes.
Definitely per person, you know,
Yeah, it gotta be like
kind of
person centered,
basic.
that kind of deal, right?
Yeah. So that's why I always rely on my questions. I don't know if this is even a word, but I consider myself an asker. Period.
I've
That's
heard of that word before.
that
The,
was one of my little words that I put as my name for my acronym.
uh,
My name is Rosalba. One of my A's was asker.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I like to ask a lot of questions in general. So you'll see me, if you ever have one-on-one time with me, you'll realize like I like to get to know you. I'll take the time to ask you a lot of questions. I'll bug you here, and even if it's like, "Oh, well, how did you put, that in your car?" Or like whatever.
Yeah.
I ask a lot of questions. I make it a point to do it.
Mhm.
And now it's just kind of something that is just me. Like that's just what I do. So
Mhm.
it just works for me. Yeah.
Nice. Now, before I ask another one, wait, Rosie, how much time do you have today? I don't want to make.
I don't have a limit.
Oh, okay, okay. Now,
Yeah, I don't
crew,
have plans today. You
before I
guys
ask
are my
another
plans.
question, who would like to ask? Remember, we touched upon Rosie's time during Annie's hot dog, the culinary aspect. We've touched times upon Nike and T-Mobile as well. There could be lots of questions you can ask. Like, let's go to Sasha. Sasha, can I see you for a moment?
College questions. I could take those
Oh,
too.
whoa, stop the
Yeah.
clock. Hey, Sasha, like, I know you asked about a job earlier with regard to T-Mobile, Did you want to ask any Nike questions as well? Because I know there's a Nike in LA. You know.
I
Oh,
don't
there's
care
a
too much
flagship, yeah.
for. I don't care too much for Nike, but for T-Mobile, I have a question for her. What are the requirements to work at T-Mobile?
Oh my.
There are none.
Whoa.
Are
There's
you
none.
serious?
There's no requirement. You don't have to have any experience in sales. You don't have to have experience in cell phones. You just have to have that determination to develop yourself. Like I mentioned earlier, T-Mobile is all about developing internally. So if you are green as hell, brand new to the service industry, that's probably the best way to go, because then you don't have any predetermined notions about situations or anything, and they train you from a blank slate. So it's actually best to be green, because you learn everything brand new. Nothing's confusing. Like they develop you from the get-go, and that's probably one of the best case scenarios for an application.
Well, Sasha, let me get this straight.
Yeah, they
That
hire
might be
people
a
from high
possibility.
school, out of high school. Yeah, you're good. Don't
Wait.
worry.
Wait, Sasha, hold on. Stop the clock. I know you're looking to wanting to work. You know, this would be a good time to ask Rosie some additional questions, because may be a job you might want to apply to, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Ask another one if you like while I get Mobot in here. He's wanting to join in on the fun.
Okay. The question is, Rosie, how do you deal with angry customers?
Okay.
Ooh.
For angry customers, usually they have some kind of issue that brought them in with that kind of feeling. So it's making sure that they are heard. So remember that information downloading that I mentioned earlier, you have to make sure that the person that has that emotion lets that emotion out. So you
Okay.
just listen. Just you put your ears on high volume at that point. You're just listening to whatever they're telling you, and then you make sure that this is where I have issues. I personally lack empathy during these types of situations. So this is something that I'm working on, and I'm fully aware that I don't quite empathize with the situation. So I like to take the moment to make sure that my tone doesn't get too high. Like, I don't like to sound authoritative. I don't like to point blame. I do recognize, I'll try to recognize the issue, and I'll always make sure that I'm on the same page. So whatever they tell me, I try to tell it back to them so that they know that I understood what they said and they feel heard. Usually once you get to that point and they feel heard, their anger drops, their guard drops, their trust goes up, and then they start talking to you like a person. Because you're not a machine, and that's what T-Mobile is about. They tell you you're not a machine. You are a person. You talk to people like they're people, and that's your job. Even if you're on the chat, if you're a chatting expert, if you're an individual and front-facing expert, you are a person. And that's something that T-Mobile is always making sure you remember. Like, hey, are you good? Before you try to get someone to your level, So an angry customer doesn't frighten me at all, because I know that they're just trying to let some stuff out, and I sit back and I listen. I'm like, okay, well, and I really won't say too many questions. I won't have too many questions for them, because usually they're ready to go and telling you everything. This and this happened, da 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 da.
Yeah.
And but if you have a time where you cannot handle a
Obviously,
customer of that
the
nature,
customer's anger was because of personal issue.
you have the option, to bring in your manager and step away and be like, you know what, this situation is a little bit out of my jurisdiction. You have ways that you're going to approach it. And then you tell your manager, hey, this and this is happening. I'm not quite sure how to approach it. Do you think you can step in with me, or you can take over? And then usually the managers will walk right over, introduce themselves, and then try to get that information download from the customer.
Oh, what happened? You got cut off for a moment.
I got cut off? Oh, I'm so sorry.
I hear you.
What I
Oh,
was gonna ask her, for
hold on.
Rose,
Okay. Go ahead, Sasha. Continue.
is it can you if the anger if I got to the point where I couldn't handle the situation, is it okay to say, I'm sorry, I'm really sorry about that, let me go get my manager for you?
Yes, people do that all the time. Yes, it is completely fine. Again, you are a person, and you have to remember, if you cannot handle that situation and you know it, that self-awareness, it's okay to recognize it in the moment and just say, tell your customer, hey, Mr. Customer, I'm actually going to go get a little bit more information. I'll be right back. And then you get the manager they need. Managers will they say what they have ways of making sure that, like, hey, you know what? I'm actually going to take over from here. Looks like Sasha has to go on her break right now. They'll come up with something, step you off the floor if you're overwhelmed. At least I have leadership that is very mindful about those situations, and they'll be like, you know what, go take a break, we'll see you in 15 minutes, and I'm going to handle it from here.
Okay.
And so T-Mobile's leadership is very much like keeping mindful that you are a person, and that's what we're all about. So honestly, I really love T-Mobile, and it makes sense why
Yeah. Hold on,
so
hold on.
many people, like, if you meet people at T-Mobile, you'll realize they've all worked there for years and they love it. Like, I've been there for 2 years and every day is fun. Every day. I was like, you have so many personalities at work, and it's just a good time, and every customer, the customers enjoy the energy that you have because the way you are with your coworkers, and then you get happy customers, and it sounds like cookies and rainbows right now,
Yeah.
but I think it's just because of the team that I have. We build a lot of rapport, and I've gotten to know them to the point where we're very comfortable, very trusting of each other. Like, if I miss something, someone's gonna step in. So there's something called team selling, and that's a complete option. Sometimes someone says, "Hey, Rosie, I'm not that great with Samsung information. Do you think you can work with me and my customer?" Oh yeah, I'm down. Let's go. And so
Yeah.
now it's not just you. It's you and one other person working with this customer, and you guys are having fun, having conversations, doing the best team selling, and giving a great experience. And that happens all the time. And it's completely normal. I have a lot of fun at work. I love T-Mobile. I love work.
All right. I
I'm
have a
not even
question
I'm
from
not even gonna
Mobot.
lie.
Go ahead, Mobot, you're up, buddy.
Hi, my name is Moba. How are you?
Hello. Hi, I'm doing good. We got dimples, so I'm doing good just because I see yours.
Who is your mentor?
My mentor?
Yeah, who's your
Yes.
Well, right now, out in personal life, I would say, well, Mark is one of my mentors. He's
Oh.
someone that I tap into for information at work. I have a second mentor. Her name is Nancy. She happens to be someone I went to school with, but she's been with T-Mobile since school. So she's developed a whole different um, image of T-Mobile with her time frame, because I graduated school, then I went there. She
Oh,
was in school, developed herself. She's a full manager. She's my age. And I just feel very comfortable speaking to her because she knows my situation, and she's very open. She doesn't ever, anytime I have anything to talk about, she'll make sure she's available. And, I reach out whenever I need it. So that's it. My mentors are a little different. I'm very much independent. I just tap in when I need some clarification or guidance here and there, but that's what a mentor is. They're not there to hold you. They're just there
and
to guide you a little.
and another question. Let's say you do a good job. Is there any opportunity for the next level in the company?
That's what T-Mobile is about. We're actually all about internal development. 95% of our staffing is all internal.
Okay.
We don't bring managers from different companies. We've developed them from the get-go. So yes, always room for opportunity. If you don't want to be a store manager like myself, I want to go to a marketing internship for T-Mobile, I would have to go to Oregon if I want to participate in the 6-month management or the 6-month development program. So there are many options. And I have a management degree, but I want to do marketing, and they don't have anything against that.
Oh wow. That's
And
good.
I have a question. Let's say the quarter 19 and the customers, the bill is high. Do you give them like a discount? Let's say you make it low because right now.
Yeah, no, there is some type of payment relief system that we do offer. So that is something you would have to call to the care team. So 611, you would let them know the situation, and they'll develop a plan for you, some type of payment plan. Oh, 100%. Like I said, T-Mobile remembers that we are all people. So if you notice that your bill's really high and you haven't paid it and you haven't gotten canceled, it's because we are the only company that's not doing that. Other companies, if you don't pay your bill right now, they cancel you. T-Mobile's not doing that. If you don't pay your bill for these months, T-Mobile will just work with you in getting that bill down.
Oh, really?
And on a weekday,
we won't shut you down.
Is the weekend busy, or is the store busy and the weekend is busy, or in line, and when you order the line, is it busy on the computer or shipping? Is it busy?
So online, it's very easy to get a hold of a rep. I did the chat system in April. I trained for that because I didn't want to be home. So it's going to be a little bit different. If you're communicating online after 3 p.m., it's probably busy. If you do it before 3 p.m., because of the East Coast, there's more reps available online. So the process takes a little bit more time, but you get someone right away. Now, if you go to a store, it's going to be based off who's there and who's available. But usually we try to, less than 10-minute wait for most customers. But, sometimes it does you get a huge flow of traffic. Right now, I am in the area that's called the financial district, which is an area that's currently shut down for COVID. So right now, weekends are no traffic. I get maybe like 2 customers for the store for the day, like that kind of slow. Now during the week, because even just that area during the week, it's busy Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then it slows down through the weekend because it's the really heavy business area. So you got all the suits and walking around, and they're getting things done, and they're business people. They focus on their personal life on the weekends, so you don't get a lot of business out there.
And then
so
I have another
question. Yeah.
My last question is about from 2 years to 5 years. Do you want to still work for them, or do you want another company?
Oh no, this is probably my last company that I'm going to work for. I don't see myself leaving T-Mobile at all. If I'm going to leave T-Mobile, it's going to be to develop my own business. But I don't have any intention on leaving this company. I love it too much.
You do a good job. I could tell you're a good customer service like me.
Thank you.
I worked at Universal Studio too.
Oh, nice. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you for your time.
I'm glad I can convey that just a little bit.
Well, hold on. Let me see. Hey, Jackie, you go to college, right? Or no?
Yes, I do.
Now, I know Jackie presently go to college, and I know you went to college, right, Rosie, at the San Francisco State University.
Yeah.
Is it very important to go to college, in your opinion?
In my opinion?
Yes.
I think so. Not necessarily for the degree, but again, my life revolves around people, and the experience I had in college was completely worth it. It was a struggle, but I loved every minute of it. I met people that I would have never met in my entire life, people from Korea, and I got very like Mark, he knew me before college, and he could say himself that I branched out immensely. My
Yeah.
my social abilities grew immensely. I broke out of my shell in college, just like everyone says you do. That really did happen to me. I was very shy when I got there, and still shy my first year. Second year, I got some confidence and started and developing I started joining organizations that I eventually got a lot of passion for, and eventually took on leadership roles with them. So it's definitely a great experience overall. Do I feel like my degree was 100% worth it? Did I need to go to school for it? I personally don't think so, but I got a very broad degree for that reason, because I knew I wanted to be flexible with it. So that's me. Some people go to school for engineering, and that's very much set in stone, and you know what you're going to do and how to apply it. I got a business management degree because it's a fallacy. People think you manage a business, but no, you manage the people in a business. So remember that when someone has a business management degree, they don't learn about managing a business. That is a small business degree, business administration. I learned about people.
Remember?
So if you haven't heard enough, my passion is people. I love people. I'm super extroverted. I love being around people. I feel like I get a lot of energy from them.
Yeah.
But I do have to take the time to give myself some solitary time. People do drain me as well. I love being around them, but I do take the time after work to pull away from everybody. I unwind, I reflect, I just get away. I'm probably not with as many people or with no one at all. I take very solitary time for myself, and that's how I recharge.
What about the organization? Remember the organization ring called, I think it's called Manas Unidas or something?
Yes,
You know,
HAU.
can you
Hey,
explain it
lady.
to the audience what that is?
So we are a nationwide organization, heavily in California, but we've officially expanded to NYC. So, okay, we're only in 2 states, but it's nationwide because we're on 2 coasts.
Yeah.
So HAU is all about development as well, but it's all about oh man, I haven't done this spiel in a while.
It's been a long time. No.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I've been
right?
graduated for 4 years. Yeah. Oh my sweet Lord. How do I explain HAU?
It was like a sisterhood,
is
right? For
like a
Latinas? Like
support
that?
system. Not Latinas, just people.
Oh,
It's
ladies.
just the name of our organization is called Hermanas Unidas, but we're an open door organization. We accept anybody and everybody. And yes, we've had men join the organization, but there's also an Hermanos Unidos where men happen to also identify a little bit more.
Yeah.
So it's up to you if you want to join. There's no fees, there's no nothing, there's no requirements. You come in at your leisure. But what it's about is about developing yourself and becoming oh man, I really have no idea how to spiel it right now. You threw me like
Well, I remember it was like basically you guys would do like volunteer work and you would
well,
do
it's all
organization.
self-development. So we have 3
Self-development.
pillars. It's
Yeah.
communication, community service, and collegial networking.
So it's kind
So
of like
this
in a way, a little volunteering, right? You guys did as well?
So those are the 3 pillars that we go by. So any of the actions that HAU does is towards any of those things. So whether it's collegial networking, does anybody know another way of saying that? What is networking?
Talking to people and get connection, and make sure
There
you
you go.
have their phone number, email, and especially a business card, and call them, hey, follow up, I want to know what is my status, I wanted to know the next level, what should I do?
Yeah.
And that way you could say thank you for your time.
That is actually great explanation, great summary, my bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, yes, completely on the nose. It is pretty much relationship building, creating a connection where you can tap into at a later time, and following up, like you said, to say thank you is definitely part of that, and that's something that they teach. So, HAU will teach you while you're in college, with not only your peers, so other organizations, how to network with other individuals who are from BSU, which is Black Student Union. So the people that identify with that, now you have, now you're working with another group that is completely different from you. So that's something that you could say, that you involve yourself with different cohorts, with different groups of people. And that's something that is very much a skill set to also talk about, because it's not easy to talk to different people, or people that are different from you. And it's okay to know that. And yeah, so anything that HAU did was with those pillars. So developing relationships with others at a collegial network, to also, again, apply at a different, transfer it to work or whatever you need after that. But it's to develop your professionalism. Community service, you got to take care of those around you. So, whether we took care of nature, we planted trees, we would go babysit, we went to a daycare for a few weekends, every other weekend for a year. And just because that they needed more time with, more people to be outside with the kids for playground time. And that's something that we just did different things. We participated in marches for women, and we participated in marches for the LGBT community. So it's just different. It just kind of puts your whole perspective together, and it helps you not only develop a relationship with yourself, others, and just, grow as an individual. I learned a lot. Definitely broke me out of my shell. That's how I became more social, is identifying with, I joined a group that identified with me. So Hermanas Unidas, I felt was going to be Latina based oriented. They're going to be more like me. So I joined that team, I joined that organization. And then after joining them, I started to know all the other organizations. And then I found the business programs, and then I found all the other things that identified with me. So then I found the LGBT resource center. Then I found the Alpha program, which is a professional chapter outside of college, and you speak to real professionals in your field. And it was just a stepping stone. So it's okay to stay in your shell and join an organization that is within your shell, as long as you realize that it is your shell and you want to break out of it. That's going to be up to you.
Oh, okay.
Nobody's going to force you. You are, if you want to stay in your comfort zone, I wouldn't, but that's per individual. Change, like I said, change is inevitable, so it's always good to be ready and flexible for change and adapt. So I definitely, HAU opened up a lot of doors.
Good question. What kind of organizations do these people do?
In HAU?
Yeah.
So HAU is just a college organization that bases off of the 3 pillars. So community service, networking, and oh my God, what are academics? Sweet Lord, just being in school. And so it's just anything that we did this is all college students that go and like try to do different things. So it's all, every year is different, because every year has different leadership, and every year has different group members and people that come back. So all the years that I was in the group, no social was the same. Everyone I met was different, because it's all about networking. And we did a lot of different community service things, and it was every Saturday. So it was just, it was just to take the time to focus on those things specifically.
All right.
So if you were working on academics, that you go to the library with the group, get your stuff done. Community service, get a group, go do some things for the community, and then networking, get a group again, and be a little bit social but professional at the same time. So those are the things that kind of got me to work on the relationship that I have with people. So that's where I got started, to be honest. So if you're in college and you get the opportunity to join an organization, whether it's a sorority, fraternity, anything that you feel that identifies with you and that you're comfortable with, do it. Why not? You never know the experience that you're going to get out of it. I personally don't regret anything regarding college. The debt is definitely a heavy hitter, but it's definitely taking a toll on the stress over here, but it was completely worth it. I loved it. I will pay every penny that I owe.
All right, people. Before we end the thing with Rosie, is there any final question anybody want to ask?
I have a question.
We'll go for it.
I have a question. Do you when you go work, do you have to wear your uniform or you could wear whatever you want?
So we do have some color scheme restrictions, but other than that, I wear my Nikes, Jordans, whatever I want, as long as it's as long as it's 90% black shoe or 90% black, white, or gray. I can put on the shoe, jeans, black or blue, and then they give you the tops. So you get T-Mobile sweaters, jackets, and they give you every 4 months, they give you 3 different styles. So if you don't want to wear a long sleeve and you want to wear a short sleeve, you can totally do that. If you want to wear a hoodie, T-Mobile hoodie, you can do that. So it's very flexible. Nobody looks exactly the same. You're allowed to dye your hair. You're allowed to have piercings, your tattoos. It's okay to be you and have fun at the same time. That's what T-Mobile's all about. So I go to work with a messy bun sometimes, or I'll straighten my hair, or I'll wear a T-Mobile cap. So it's I still get to express my personality. You get to wear pins if you want. So I support the autism community. So I wear an autism pin while I'm at work. So, there's different things you get to represent yourself while still at work in uniform. You can still do that. Yeah. It's fun. I love
I
working
wish you the
on
best.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
All right, Alex has another question, or am I right, Alex?
Yes.
Oh, go for it, bud.
Oh, Rosie, when you work, do you wear like a vest, uniform for a vest for your uniform?
I personally like the hoodie. I just throw a hoodie on top of whatever shirt I'm wearing. I just wear the T-Mobile hoodie, and then I'll put a snapback on or whatever with T-Mobile logo, and we're good.
Like how many hours of work you do?
So I'm full-time, so I work 40 hours a week. So my shifts are 8 hours with a 30-minute lunch. Yeah, so I have a standard work day.
All right.
Yeah, no, there's no such thing as, they don't like to keep you overtime.
No.
Not just for work life balance. T-Mobile is all about work-life balance. So if you're not required to work over 8 hours at any point, you go home. If you're still with the customer and you want to go home instead of staying with them, you can do that. Yeah, that's happened to me where I get stuck, where I'm like 5 minutes before leaving my shift, customer shows up for an upgrade, and I'll get all the questions going, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to hand you off to another individual, and I have done that.
Yeah. When I used to work at LAX, I wore like a uniform and a vest for to be part of the uniform, and sometimes we wear like long sleeves or short sleeves, but mostly I kind of wear like the short sleeve because I get a little warm when I go outside.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely, no, I can understand that, especially if you work at airport, right? You said LAX, you have to look more like a security. Your requirements, your policy is a little different. T-Mobile is very flexible about that. T-Mobile loves people to show off their individuality, because again, we're all about diversity and inclusion. So showing your personality is part of your interview. You have to show your personality. If you can't have a conversation, if you can't smile, Like they're already like, okay, you might not be quite fitting here, you know. So you have to be comfortable with yourself, especially when you're doing the interview, because you have to be able to convey who you are so that they can see if you're going to be part of our team, if you fit. And so for Sasha, I know we were speaking earlier about that, and T-Mobile might be something that you might look into. So definitely, if you want to practice an interview with me, I'm totally open for that. But it's okay to go online and look up the questions that T-Mobile could potentially ask, and then ask yourself those questions in front of a mirror when you're preparing for an interview. If you record yourself, it feels weird, I know, but it's always good to go back and see what you sound like, and it helps for those responses when that question does come in. Like you'll have it ready to go.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I love T-Mobile. Everybody I work for loves T-Mobile. Almost every single person I work with has over 2 years of experience with T-Mobile. So yeah, people like to invest in us, and it's a great company to work for. Look into the benefits, look into the location you might want to work for. If you want to work at a call center, that is an option too.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
If you don't want to work if you don't want to be frontline facing, you don't have to be. So yeah.
Do they have like tech support out of curiosity?
Yeah, we do, but our U.S. tech support is in Oregon, so that would cause a move.
No, thank you.
There's some in Texas, and I don't know what. There's different call centers. I know that because of quarantine.
Yes.
Or because of shelter in place, that might be changing for California. So there might be some different job openings now because of this. Now that, some stores will be limited in service, there could be some openings as a chat service.
Oh, okay.
So they would pimp out your house with the best T-Mobile service and routers, and then give you multiple screens to chat with customers. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's a whole nother service and sector that's changing for us. So T-Mobile, we're all about the future. We're all about 5G and what 5G is coming, and we're thinking that 5G is just going to change our world. And so T-Mobile's getting ready to do that. So there's a lot of job openings right now, especially with the merger.
I gotta go now.
All right, Alexa. See you later, buddy.
All right.
Bye. It was nice talking to you.
Nice talking to you, Rosie. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
By the way, Rosie,
yeah,
I'm an extroverted.
You're extrovert. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's good. Perfect. That's great that you know that. I'm partially extrovert, partially introvert, because again, I love to be around people, and people are my life, but I do get low energy around them. So after a while, like, I do start kind of losing it, and I'm like, okay, I need to go collect myself and be with me now. And I recognize that, and so does my partner. My partner knows that I need time to myself. I'm like, hey, I just need to just be to me for an hour before we hang out. And it's okay. Totally okay. Self-awareness is perfect.
They call it an ambivert. That's when you're both worlds. Ambivert.
Oh, I did not know that.
What's up?
I do get introverted at times too.
Yeah, every extrovert does that. Every extrovert gets like that too. It's everybody needs time to themselves. Honestly, I think that's important to spend time with you.
Yeah.
Definitely. Does anybody have any
she's enjoying the outside world. I need to do that.
Wait, are you with your dog, Rosie?
Dark room.
Yeah.
Show us Rosie, would you?
Yeah.
She has a dog named Rosie?
Well, yeah.
Shut up.
Oh my gosh, magnificent beast.
That's so funny.
I forgot.
Rosie.
Hi, other Rosie.
Rosie. Wait, I think I'm the other Rosie.
That's so cute.
I should have put that on the other Rosie.
The other Rosie.
I think I am.
Well, all right, guys. Is there any final question that anybody has?
Did I talk you guys' ears off yet?
Huh? Oh, no. No, I always gotta ask
Ro-
that. But look at
Rosie,
everybody's awake
Yeah.
now all of a sudden. It's good. Go ahead.
do
Go ahead,
you
Mobile.
do you have a lot of friends at work?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, my coworkers alone, there's 80 of us at the store. Not at one time, but there's 80 of us on the team. So yes, I got a lot of friends at work. Um, and they all have big personalities. Nobody's really shy. Everybody likes to have conversations, so you could pretty much approach anybody and be like, "Hey, how you doing? I like your shoes. All right, cool, bye." Like, so it's everybody has different flavors to offer, and it's really fun. I enjoy working at T-Mobile. Honestly, it's
I
never a
wish you
dull
the
day.
best.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I wish you guys the best as well. I hope that my chatty self gave you guys some decent info to take and move forward on whatever you want to do in life. So I wish you guys the best of luck with everything. And you guys have a great mentor for some guidance over here.
Oh,
And
thank you.
I love that he's getting you guys some resources of different people. So keep doing what you're doing and absorb that information and apply it for yourself.
Mhm.
And don't forget to spend time with you and get to know yourself.